Sevens, we got a subscriber request today on how to get over a breakup. So a subscriber reached out to me. His girlfriend cheated on him and he left, but he's dealing with depression. He's trying to figure out how can he get over this breakup. And this is a great question. Shout out to him for submitting it. If you want to submit a question, you can reach out to me at axelblack@gmail.com. I'll put it in the description so you guys can reach out and ask me any questions and I will address your question. So first things first, okay. It is good that you've reached out for help. That's the first right thing that you did, right? So, which I want you guys to understand is I went through a major breakup a couple years back. It was 2020, beginning of 2023. It was like my first serious adult relationship, and I was devastated, bruh. I didn't feel like doing shit. I'm not going to even lie to y'all. Like, I did not feel like going out. I didn't feel like going to the gym. Only thing I wanted to do was sit at home, lay in my bed, and listen to sad music. Like, I was going through it, bro. I didn't want to hang out with friends. I didn't want to go to work. I remember one day I left work early because I was so messed up over the breakup. I didn't even want to be around people. I just wanted to be alone in the dark, right? And I understand that that's a tough time for a lot of guys. But what you have to understand is that you can and you will recover if you handle the right way. Now, there are two ways you can go about this, and I'm going to explain what I did, and I'm going to explain the two methods. So, there is a positive method and there's a negative method. When I first went through my breakup, I went through the negative method. I 100% started going out. Once I got a little bit better, my only thing was I was obsessed with revenge. I wanted her to see me living better without her. I wanted her to see me, not in pain. I just wanted her to feel stupid for leaving me. And I started putting all my energy into this. I started going out to clubs, hanging with people I didn't normally hang with, doing things I didn't do. I was drinking. I was trying to be always with women and showing that off, and just it's like whenever you're doing all that, you're showing that you lost the breakup. You're showing that you're trying to make the other person jealous. You're still needy. You're still making that person the center of your life and center of attention. And it made me feel better for maybe a couple months, but one day I had this really bad crash where I realized dang, I'm dealing with all these different girls, yet I'm still constantly only thinking about my ex. All of this feels meaningless. I don't care about these girls. I'm still unhappy. I still feel lonely, even though I'm surrounding myself by people and women and clubbing and all these things. And it just led to me pushing down my problems and sweeping them under the rug. And it really messed my mental health up. I was really, really jacked up, right? I was damn, I'm just unhappy no matter what I do. And I start to become depressed. I start to hate myself. And I ended up even worse than I started after the breakup because, I had poured so much into the relationship. I moved out my parents' house. I got an apartment. I moved her in. I was paying all the bills. I was getting her out of debt. I was getting her car fixed. I was doing everything I could, right? And it just wasn't enough. And I began to hate women. I began to hate myself. I started watching red pill content. I gained a shit ton of weight, which I was already out of shape. Everything in my life just went badly, right? And then one day I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired. I got tired of being lonely, depressed. And I started saying, okay, what can I change? Because you can only worry about what you can't control. I can't control that she left. I can't control, the guys she talked to and all this stuff, but I can't control how I respond. I can control how I move forward with my life. I can control what habits I do and who I hang around and what I do. So I started doing that. I started focusing on that. I said, okay, what's wrong in my life? What's missing from my life? Why am I not happy with myself? And it was, I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't like the way I carried myself. I didn't like how I was starting to be somebody I wasn't, just to try to impress somebody else or make somebody else jealous. She still had control over me. So I started saying, okay, I let myself go. First things first, when I look in the mirror, because I didn't even want to look myself in the mirror. I was so embarrassed of how much I let myself go. I was like, that's a problem. Not being able to look in the mirror and like what you see and who you are, you need to do something. So I instantly started going to the gym, working on myself, and just, taking better care of myself, eating cleaner, lifting weights, just doing a bunch of different stuff. And if you want to see what that transformation looks like, I have plenty of videos where I'm talking about the dating formula and how I grew up and how I gained confidence. And it was just a lot of things I went into detail. But for the sake of this video, I'm not going to go too deep into detail. But yeah, I just started putting in work on myself. I started going out with my true friends and doing things I used to enjoy doing. I started like taking the time to learn about myself and who I am as a man and what I want, and how the relationship went wrong. What did I do wrong? I gave too much too soon. I invested too much. I wasn't looking out for myself. I was only caring about her. I just kept throwing myself to the fire in order to protect her when she wasn't doing that for me. You have to understand that a good woman, she's not going to let you sacrifice yourself for her, especially if she's not the type of person to do it for you. Only a woman who's a user and a manipulator and just negative things would do that way. And I'm not trying to talk shit about my ex. I'm just saying, like, you have to be able to decide if a woman is really for you, if a woman is really with you for you. And I didn't understand that at the time, right? So yeah, I started just reflecting on myself, my decisions, and everything, and I just started putting in work. I started going to the gym. I started making content talking about these experiences so I could help other guys, and I started to find a sense of purpose because whenever I see you guys comment in the comments like, "Hey, this really helped me. Thanks so much, bro. I needed this," and I'm helping you guys, that makes up for everything because it's like I'm saving one more guy from going through what I had to go through because it was a very devastating breakup for me. My first real adult relationship with someone I was in love with, finding out they weren't the right person, it was tough. But yeah, I just started doing a lot of inner work and I just completely changed. My appearance changed, my mentality changed, everything changed because I hated women for a while and it made me push away some pretty good women because I was so caught up in what my ex had did and what the next girl might do. So I had to let go of that fear and like just be like, hey, you're going to put yourself out there. Make sure that you're watching out for yourself and you're making the right decisions, but you have to let this past shit go. And yeah, it just came down to once I started focusing on the things that I could control, like how I look, my goals, my future, my money. When I started focusing on that, it did two things. It helped me heal because I wasn't just focused on getting her back or what she did to me. I let go of the victim identity and I became a man who is confident and who can be proud of himself. And you change your identity just by making the decision, I'm not that person anymore. The second I decide I'm not going to be this victim guy who's heartbroken anymore, I stopped being that instantly. Like, so right then it just dropped. Am I saying that I didn't think about her sometime or think about situations sometime? Yeah. But whenever it did, I just started focusing on what I could change because I can't change that situation. It's over. So yeah, I started doing that and it took time. It took time for me to work and practice good habits. But yeah, you just want to set some goals and find some purpose. Find a will to live. A lot of guys make their girlfriend or their relationship their purpose. And that's another reason you lose your girl. Because when your girl see you don't have anything going on outside of her, that's a natural turnoff. Like if you meet a woman and the only thing she worries about is you, at first it's gonna be good, but after a while you're gonna be like, damn, like, doesn't she have anything else to do? She's blowing up my phone, she's always in my face, she's always worrying about me. Like, I want to hang out with my friends, I want to play the game, I want to make some money. So you have to start pouring into yourself, and what's going to happen is you're going to start to find your purpose, you're going to start to have more fun, you're going to think less about the situation, you're going to attract way better, more attractive women because the level of women I attracted before I got in my relationship now, it was just constantly increasing. The better I got, the better looking women I got. The more weight I lost, the better looking women I got. The more charismatic I got, the more attractive women I got. So it's just, you just have to start focusing on what you can change. And it's going to take time. Allow yourself to feel sad, but do it without being non-productive. Like, if that makes sense. Like, just because you're sad doesn't mean, oh, you don't need to go to work today or you don't need to go to the gym today or you don't need to work on yourself. Allow yourself to be sad. Don't try to sweep it under the rug because you have to process those feelings. But while you're doing that, still get your ass up and do what you need to do. That's what I've realized. As a man, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to help you. You might have people come to help you, like family and stuff, but nobody's ultimately going to save you. You have to get through this. And, I'm here with you every step of the way. Like I said, you can always reach out to me for help and things like that. And I'll try to do my best to answer you guys' questions. But yeah, that is the best breakup advice that I can give you guys. You just have to put your best foot forward and accept what happened and start to think about what kind of dream life you would want. If you could picture your dream self living your dream life, what would he look like? How would he act? What work would he do? Would he own a business? What car would he drive? Start thinking about these things and then start thinking, okay, what are steps I can take to achieve this dream life that I'm actually enjoying, right? Like everything that you've ever wanted, write it down. Write it down. That's the best thing to do. Write it down and visualize it. And then start figuring out how you can make it happen and spend every single day trying to figure out a new way to make that happen, or practicing the same habits over and over that will get you to that place, because that will give you purpose, which will make you the most attractive and the most healed you could ever be. Simple as that, bro. I know it sounds cliche, but it's the truth, bro. Focusing on what you lost isn't going to change anything. Focusing on what you can gain and how you can gain it, that's when you'll start to see results. That's when you will find something new and something better. So yeah, it's as simple as that. That is the best breakup advice I've ever received and never found out. Hopefully this helps you guys. Hit that sub button to become a 007, and we're out. Peace, y'all.